you meet more non-binary lesbians who use they, them pronouns or use she, they pronouns, but like, I think that anyone who's non-binary can use any pronouns and be defined as a lesbian.
Can lesbians use he, him pronouns? That is the most 2023 sentence that has ever come out of my mouth, but yes, it's apparently an actual debate that some people are having. This question was introduced on a recent episode of Jubilee's Middle Ground series, where they had conservative and liberal lesbians discussing and debating different topics, like whether you can be non-binary and a lesbian or have he, him pronouns, yet still be a lesbian. If you're confused, that's okay. I'm literally a gay guy, and I'm also confused at this point. We're gonna react to the clips here and break this discussion down, but first, if you are new here, please do consider subscribing if you want some center-right sanity on the increasingly unhinged debate over LGBT issues, and consider liking and commenting with your thoughts as we go along. Now, let's dive into this video.
Lesbians can use he, him pronouns.
I think the reason why I stepped forward is because of the idea that pronouns equal gender. I think that's also why I kind of hesitated as well, because when you're saying use he, him pronouns, at first everyone assumes it's their gender, sexual orientation, everything. I think it goes back to my belief that pronouns do not equal your gender.
If pronouns don't equal your gender, what the hell do they mean anyway then? So far, and these are the people that agree that you can be a he, him lesbian, the logic isn't logicking for me, babe, but we'll see. Maybe it gets better.
I know non-binary lesbians who like go by any pronouns, and I think like there's, I think that there's maybe you meet more non-binary lesbians who use they, them pronouns or use she, they pronouns, but like, I think that anyone who's non-binary can use any pronouns and be defined as a lesbian.
Thinking of you and thinking of my non-binary friends that, like you said, use all pronouns, and so that's when I realized that I agree.
I'm still completely and utterly lost with this logic. Did nobody ask these people what a lesbian is then? If you can be non-binary, that means you don't identify as a woman, or even he, him, which means you identify as a man, how could you possibly be considered a lesbian? A lesbian is a woman who loves and is attracted to other women. So to say you can be non-binary or he, him, yet still be a lesbian makes absolutely no sense. This is what we mean, by the way, when us, center-right, rational gay people say that the extreme gender ideology is undermining our own identities and our own rights. You're literally trying to redefine lesbian to the point of incoherence in order to accommodate non-binary people or the TQ plus or whatever. Obviously, I'm not a lesbian, but if I was, I would be very alarmed and offended by that push because you're actually undercutting the basic logic of same-sex acceptance that got lesbians equal rights and tolerance in the first place. Lesbians are women, females, who can only love and be attracted to other women and other females. But now suddenly the woke people are arguing that actually lesbians can be attracted to any gender. Oh, so why shouldn't they just date men then? Why shouldn't they just be straight? If they can just be attracted to any gender, if gender has nothing to do with being a lesbian, why wouldn't conversion therapy work? I like to say that while it's important to always be open-minded, if you're too open-minded, your brain falls out. That's what I feel like is going on here. But don't worry, there's more.
I didn't step forward with the rest of my team just because my first
so cute. I love you.
Just because my first thought was of when straight men call themselves lesbians, and I always thought that was so disrespectful and cringy, and that was my first thought. That's why I was like, oh no, straight away. But then when you were talking about non-binary people, I was like, oh yeah, that's true. There are non-binary people who also use he, him pronouns. At the same time, I still disagree a little bit, just because if pronouns don't equal gender, what's the point? Yeah.
So wait, why can't straight men be lesbians then? If you can be a lesbian and use he, him pronouns, then a straight man can be a lesbian. Why not? Words mean nothing at this point, so go for it. Do they really not see how they're undercutting things?
I think to me it's a bigger conversation than just somebody's identity. If we're in this community trying to make the world understand us more and trying to actually be progressive, as you guys call it, why are we also being more confusing? The only thing that winds up doing is making yourself feel better.
So that was my friend Arielle Scarcella, who's been on my channel before. She is a conservative lesbian, and she makes a really good point here. You are making this so much more confusing and incoherent. And when you do that, people aren't going to understand or accept it as much. You're literally writing the script for your own downfall, yet calling yourself progressive.
The reason why I didn't step forward, and I actually struggle with this one because I am all about freedom of speech. You are free to say whatever you want, to use whatever pronouns you want, to present how you want. I don't care. And so on one hand, yeah, a lesbian can use whatever pronouns they want because that's their right. That is protected in our Constitution as your freedom of speech. But on the other hand, I am not obligated to validate that. And I'm not, in my opinion, a lesbian is a woman who loves another woman. What I believe is a woman. Maybe not everyone here agrees what a woman is, but I believe that. So if I say a lesbian is a female or a woman who loves another female woman, then they're probably going by she, her pronouns, right? But then they also have their freedom of speech. So it's very middle, a little bit muddy for me on this one.
So I love how Becky has to say that it's her opinion that being a lesbian is a woman who loves other women. No, babe, that's the definition. I know they're trying to rewrite it and change it, but that's still the actual definition of what a lesbian is. I do think this is an interesting bit of nuance, right? Because she makes the point that freedom of speech, people absolutely have the right to call themselves a lesbian if they want, even if they go by he, him, or they are non-binary. And that's true. You absolutely have the right to call yourself whatever you want, and I will defend your right to do that until my last breath. But I don't have to agree with it or think it's correct or indulge what seems to me sheer and utter nonsense. So you have every right to call yourself a non-binary lesbian or a he/him lesbian, but you have absolutely no right to expect the rest of us to go along with such a bizarre and incoherent idea. All right, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Can you be a he/him lesbian? Can you be a non-binary lesbian? And what is the absolute state of the LGBT community where we really have portions of it, of people among us who genuinely think these things are true? I want to know your thoughts, so let me know in the comments below, and do like this video if you enjoyed, and consider even subscribing if you want to see more of this face talking to you about these insane subjects and other things going on the internet. Consider subscribing. We're growing so fast, and I'm really hoping to hit 100K before the end of the year. All right, and with that, I'll see you all in my next video. But if you want more of my content, check out some of my other recent videos on these topics here or here.